confidence doesn't come from how you look. It comes from the trust that you'll actually do what you say you will do. You don't trust people who break their word. So, why do you expect to feel powerful when you keep breaking your own promises to yourself?
Welcome to Talkin' Shit, the podcast where we get real about the unfiltered truths women face in the quest for perfection. I'm Jana, your host, a dietitian and fellow woman navigating the pressure to have it all together, the perfect body, career, relationships, and making it all look effortless. Who set that standard anyway? Here, we're calling out the diet fads, hustle culture, beauty standards, and everything else that keeps us feeling stuck. But we're not just venting, we're diving into how to break free and rewrite the rules on your terms. So grab a coffee or a glass of wine and let's talk some shit. Together, we'll uncover how to live a life that's unapologetically yours. This is Talkin' Shit. Let's dive in.
Welcome back to the Talkin' Shit podcast. I am so glad that you're here today because we're going to talk about something that most people don't want to talk about, but absolutely need to hear. Today's episode is all about integrity. Not the buzzword, not the moral checklist, but personal integrity. The kind that builds trust within yourself, the kind that determines whether you actually follow through on the goals you set, the kind that makes the difference between talking about change and actually living it. Because when it comes to your health, your body, and your confidence, integrity is the bridge between who you say you want to be and who you actually are. Ready to lose weight, feel in control around food, and build a lifestyle that actually lasts? The Healthy Body Collective is my monthly coaching community where you get expert guidance from me, Jana, live coaching, real accountability, and a supportive group of women who actually get it. You can click the link in the show notes to join now. See you inside. So let me just set the tone for today's conversation. I really want to open up for dialogue and conversation because I'm essentially calling myself out with this podcast from some personal experiences where through conversations with my therapist and my coach, I realized I was not living in integrity. I was doing things completely opposite of what I said I wanted to do. And so I share this conversation with you, not at you. And I want to invite you to lean in and really just assess like how this shows up in your own life from that self-awareness perspective, because it's really powerful when you can see how you may not be in alignment or integrity with your own self. I also want to share and give just a little bit of backstory. This episode was inspired by a session I had with a patient in the outpatient clinic that I consult with. She was living with type 2 diabetes, high blood pressure, depression, and anxiety. And she told me she often struggled just to get out of bed. During our session, she said something I've heard hundreds of times before of, I know what to do, I just don't do it. She went on to tell me that she makes sure that her kids take better care of themselves than she does. And she always reminds them, don't do what I do what I say. And honestly, that hit me hard. Because the truth is, our society is full of that contradiction. We have people saying, my health matters, but their behaviors tell a completely different story. That disconnect, that gap between what you say and what you do is exactly why so many people feel stuck. And it's also why so many people feel unheard. Because here's the thing. People don't really listen to what you say. They watch what you do. That's how they decide whether to trust you. And this point hit even deeper when this same patient said to me, I'll listen to you because you're pretty and thin. And I gotta say, that one triggered me to my core. But I'll have to save that for another episode, another conversation, because there's so many things about that I need to still continue to untangle. But she's telling her truth. And for so many individuals, that is the truth. If an individual is pretty or thin, you are more willing to listen to them, even if they may be wrong. So let's dive in. What does integrity actually mean? Most people think of integrity as doing the right thing. But on a deeper level, integrity simply means your words and actions match. It's alignment, it's follow through, it's keeping the promises you make, not just to other people, but also to yourself. When you tell your best friend you'll show up, you do. When your boss gives you a deadline, you meet it. When your kids need you, you're there. But when you tell yourself, I'm going to eat better, I'm going to start walking again, I'm going to make time for myself, and you don't, that's a crack in integrity. It doesn't make you a bad person. And this episode certainly isn't meant to be shameful or to elicit guilt. It just means your trust account with yourself is overdrawn. And again, I say this right there with you because this one hit hard in my own personal story. And if you've ever wondered why you don't feel confident, that's actually why. Confidence doesn't come from how you look. It comes from the trust that you'll actually do what you say you will do. You don't trust people who break their word. So why do you expect to feel powerful when you keep breaking your own promises to yourself? So what does integrity have to do with weight loss or living in a body you love or having the health that you want? Well, just about everything, because most women don't struggle with knowing what to do. They struggle with doing what they already know. You don't need another diet plan. You need integrity with your word. Every time you say, I'll start Monday, but you don't. Every time you say, just one more glass of wine, but now it turns into three. Every time you promise yourself you'll get up for that walk, but then you hit the snooze button, you're teaching your brain that your word doesn't mean much. And every time you break your own word, your self-trust weakens. And when your self-trust weakens, consistency disappears. And without consistency, nothing changes. But when you start to honor your word, especially in small ways, everything begins to shift. Maybe it's drinking water before your coffee. Maybe it's doing a 10-minute walk instead of a full workout. Maybe it's following through on that one meal you promised to prep. Those are small acts of integrity, and they build momentum because integrity creates evidence, and evidence builds confidence, and confidence fuels consistency. And that's what creates long-term results. Now, I need to get a little real with you for a second, even though I already have been real, but let's get really real. There's a difference between being the woman people watch and the woman people listen to. People watch the woman who's always talking about what she's going to do. They've heard it before. The new diet, the new workout plan, the new this time will be different. But people listen to the woman who shows up, the one whose actions speak louder than her words, the one who doesn't just talk about discipline, she actually lives it. So I want you to ask yourself something. Are you the woman people watch or the woman people listen to? If you're tired of feeling unseen, unheard, unmotivated, start showing up in integrity with yourself. Because that version of you, she's magnetic. People notice, people respect her, but more importantly, you respect her. When you walk in integrity, you don't need to convince anyone that you're serious. They feel it, and so do you. And even if no one else notices, your body does. Your health shifts, your energy increases, your confidence returns because your body responds to belief, and belief is built through consistent action. So, what do you do if you've broken trust with yourself over and over again? Well, you rebuild it. The same way you'd rebuild any relationship, one promise at a time. Start small. If you say you'll drink water before coffee, do it. If you say you'll walk for 10 minutes, do it. If you say you'll eat protein at breakfast, do it. Don't overcomplicate it. Keep the promises you make to yourself today. Then tomorrow, keep one more. That's integrity. That's healing. You don't rebuild confidence by waiting for motivation. You rebuild it by proving to yourself that you're reliable again. And listen, this is not about perfection. Integrity doesn't mean you'll never miss a day. It means that when you do, you take responsibility, you learn from it, and you get back on track without the shame spiral. Because, newsflash, you're not perfect, you're human. That's how you grow. That's how we grow. That's how you change. That's how we change. This is exactly what I teach inside the Healthy Body Collective because lasting weight loss and a healthy relationship with your body doesn't come from restriction. It actually comes from self-respect and integrity. Inside this community, we focus on both science and mindset. You'll stop being that woman who's starting over and become the woman who follows through. So if you're listening to this thinking, I've said I'll start over so many times, consider this your sign to start now because integrity begins with one courageous decision, and this could be yours. So I want to thank you for spending time with me today. I know this is a very different lens to look through health at. And I want you to really take some time to reflect on how does this show up for you? And it can be really eye-opening for you to truly see where you are or maybe not in alignment with yourself so that you can build back that trust and build back that integrity with you because it very much so matters. All right, if this episode spoke to you, share it with another woman who needs the reminder that she's capable of more than her excuses. I hope you're leaving this episode feeling a little stronger, a little more honest with yourself, and a lot more ready to live in integrity, not just in your health, but in your life as a whole. So until next time, take care of your body, speak kindly to yourself, and remember, you're always worth the work. And as always, keep showing up, keep growing, and keep talking about the shit that truly matters. I'll see you next time.